Thank you. And now I'll be speaking in English because I understand that these videos can reach much wider world. And I think that those thoughts and ideas how we should change the education system to facilitate for those future needs is not only something that we over here in Estonia have to think about, but I see that the world is really looking at us to see where the future next paradigm of education systems is. So, okay, so a bit about me. As I just recently told, Edumus School is a cohort-based learning platform for high school students. And now, after 5 years of working in education, I consider myself a full-fledged education person. But that has not always been the case. I actually studied economics, business, and IT, and worked in software development and marketing. And I can say that I have reached to education thanks to Junior Achievement's awesome work in entrepreneurship education. That inspired me to not only bring my own knowledge and experience to the education system, but also inspire others to do so as well. So I guess the cliche of the classroom staying and looking and feeling the same for the last 100 years is quite familiar to all of us, and that has been brought out in many of the previous speeches. So what do you think? Which should be the next education paradigm, and how it should look like? A bit about the past. The technology and the education have really developed in turns. Rapid development in technology brings about economic stratification and an associated social pain. However, fast development in education brings about more social equality and prosperity. It was already before the war in Ukraine that we had already reached, again, the time and age where the technology has developed really rapidly. And I guess right now with the welfare crisis, we have reached the social pain age once again. So what should be the 21st, or should we already start talking about the 22nd century skills and competencies that we should teach in general education system? These will not be the digital skills or technological skills, but rather more soft skills like creativity, emotional intelligence, and teamwork. Because we have to prepare young people for jobs which we don't know yet about, and many of the jobs we know today will be probably automated by AI. So, the next educational paradigm. What's interesting is that during the first lockdown in Estonia, Estonian Ministry of Education conducted a survey. Turned out that 1/3 of the Estonian students actually fared better in distance learning than they did in in-contact learning. For a third, this change in education didn't bring out better results than in contact, and for the last third, it didn't really matter what mode of their education was. That shows that the Estonian education system is very advanced because we can really adapt in very fast and changing environments. And secondly, it brought out that distance learning has very immense potential in contributing to the general education system. I think that right now the education system is one of the ultimate legacy systems because how we are operating it is derived from the 19th century and many of the methods from the 20th. It's about time that we should move away from the restrictions of physical classrooms, location, and teachers' availability, and really center the education system around students' interests and needs. So the top-down education system and its organization is obsolete nowadays. And that's something I really loved about Karin Künnapa's speech as well, as she talked about more practical and education system which really engages not only the education system itself, but the other stakeholders as well, mainly the employers, to understand what are the skills and knowledge that are needed in the workforce later. So we see that distance education offers many possibilities that we haven't yet used up in the education system. But good news is that Estonian education system is already moving to that direction. Estonian Educational Development Plan already includes these concepts of open education and personalized learning journeys. We have already in high school education one of the most flexible curriculums where up to a third of all the courses can be electives or decided by the school or the student or them in combination. And this is something that gives huge potential to our not only teachers and students, but also our edtech innovators. As our PISA results are as high as you probably all know, I see that Estonia has the privilege, but thus also the responsibility to show the way to the next paradigm of the education systems. So now we have to take these theoretical possibilities and flexibilities into reality and create the next paradigm of education systems. Thank you.